Hi everyone, I'm Age Graceful. How are you today? Welcome to Age Graceful Soulful Eats. Well, today I'm going to be doing a Southern style pound cake. This pound cake, the recipe has been in my family for a long time. It's very simple to make. There are only 7 items in this cake, so it can be made very quickly. I'm doing it today after work for a party tomorrow. So if it's your first time here, come on in. I welcome you to stay, and I want you to consider subscribing to the channel. In the left-hand corner at the bottom of the screen, there's a subscription button. And also at the top of the screen, there's an informational card that you can also select to subscribe to the channel. So I welcome you. Stick around and let's see what we're going to do to make this pound cake. Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Age Graceful. Welcome to Age Graceful Southern Eats. So we're going to get this Southern pound cake started. To make the pound cake, you're going to need 3 cups of flour, and this is cake flour. This is a popular national brown. This is soft as silk. There's also Swans Down cake flour that you can use, either one. If you use regular all-purpose flour, the cake will be too heavy and it might not rise properly. The second thing you're going to need is eggs. And I use either 5 jumbo eggs or 6 medium to large eggs. Today I'm using large eggs, and they vary in size, so I'm going to use 6 of them. You also need butter. You need 3 sticks of salted butter. I made a mistake one time and I thought I could do a cake with unsalted butter. It was absolutely terrible, so make sure you get salted butter. There's 4 sticks in this box. If I'm going to do a pound cake, I need 3 for the cake, and then I always reserve the last stick of butter if I'm going to put frosting on, which I'm going to show you how to do that too, and that just takes 1 stick of butter and powdered sugar. So I'm just going to set that butter to the side. You need vanilla flavoring. You need a 1/4 teaspoon of iodized salt, and you need just under a 1/2 cup of milk. This milk here is almost gone, so I'm not going to even use all that. And of course you need sugar. And I just opened my bag of sugar and I put it in an old creamer container. I'm just going to turn the label around. I don't want to do a commercial for this creamer company. So we're going to get started. The first step is to open up all your softened butter. This butter has been out overnight. It was in my freezer. I usually buy the butter when I can on sale. Right now butter is extremely high, so if you ever see it on sale, go ahead and get it because it can be frozen and then you can take it out and let it unthaw. Let me grab a spatula. Okay, so I'm just going to open up my 3 sticks of butter and place them into my mixing bowl. So that's 1. And the secret to a successful cake is to cream your butter and sugar because everyone knows butter has a yellow appearance to it. So you want to cream your butter and sugar until it's white and fluffy. And the sugar begins to break down from the hard granules and it comes out a little bit softer. It does not dissolve fully, but once it turns white, it's just about there. And that usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes depending on your mixer. So okay, I have my butter in. Now the sugar. I use 2 and about 2/3 cup. I use just up under 3 cups of sugar. This measuring cup I have here is a 1/2 cup. So when I use 2 of these, that's 1 cup. So that's 1. I have a few bumps in this sugar. That's 2. 2.5, and just a little teeny bit more to give me 2/3 of a cup. Okay, so that's my butter and sugar. I'm going to get the mixer on, and I'm going to get Mr. G to handle the camera for me and come over so you guys can see the beginning process of mixing this together. But first, before I can mix it, I need to plug in my mixer. I never do that until the absolute end. Okay, so if Mr. G, if you'll come over and assist me here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to lock the mixer in place. Can you bring it down a little bit more, Mr. G? Okay, right there is perfect. Okay, so I have my mixer locked in place, and I'm going to start off slowly. Right now, you're just hearing a couple of those lumps of sugar being broken up. Sometimes if your storage area is moist, then lumps will develop in your sugar, but it's not going to affect the cake. As long as you remember to cream this butter and sugar together really well, those lumps will come out. I'm going to speed this up some now. And that's the idea. I'm not going to have you guys watch all of this. I'm going to come back once the butter and sugar is fully creamed. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, guys, I'm back. And so what I've done while you were away, or while I was away, is I cut on my oven to 330 degrees because I'm using a dark pan. When you use a dark pan to bake your cake, you should decrease the temperature of the oven by about 20 degrees because it's supposed to be cooked on 350 degrees if you're using a glass or ceramic type pan. My butter and my sugar is creamed now, and what I've gone ahead and done is put 3 cups of the cake flour into my measuring cup. This is a 4-cup measuring cup. Make sure you measure precisely. Into this flour, I'm going to now add my salt. And I just need like 1/4 teaspoon. So I'm going to pour that in to my spoon. And I'm going to mix that into the flour. And just so you can kind of get it in there a little bit. It doesn't have to be mixed very well. Also, what I did is I went ahead and I poured my milk into my cup, and it's just up under a cup of milk. And I also cracked my eggs into this coffee cup so that I can pour them into the butter and sugar one at a time. I also went ahead and I grabbed my Pam baking spray. Make sure you have baking spray. Most of the baking sprays have flour in them. I know when I was younger, we would just use oil and then use regular all-purpose flour to flour the pan, but they have everything all together in this can now, but make sure before you use it that you shake it really well. I'm not going to shake it right now. It's going to be a minute before I use that. So now I'm going to have Mr. G to follow me over to the mixer so I can show you what the sugar and, yep, that's fine there. In fact, that's perfect right there. Okay, so the sugar and the butter is creamed now, and what you want to do is kind of scrape down the sides of your bowl so that it's all incorporated just like that. Just be careful. You don't use a rubber spatula. This is a rubber spatula. Don't use any metal. And this is a nice wide spatula. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get my eggs here, and I'm going to add the eggs one at a time. So that they're incorporated. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 4 or 5. Too skinny. And that's the 6 egg, because as I told you, I was using 6 eggs because of the size. These are like a size medium to a large. Yeah, just like that. That's perfect. Right there for me. And again, I'm going to scrape down the sides. And I'm going to cut this up to kind of really beat that egg. Just for a minute or so. Not even a full minute. I'm going to cut this back down some because I'm going to begin to add my flour and salt mixture. And you're supposed to add it like in thirds. And put the milk in between. So I'm going to add a little flour now. And you want to cut it back down so that your flour doesn't fly all across the room. And I'm going to add a little bit of my milk. A little more flour. And a little bit of my milk. And then I'm going to add the remainder of the flour. And my milk. Okay. Now I'm going to cut the mixer up. And make sure that all of the flour is incorporated into my eggs and my sugar. Cut it down a little bit. And I'm going to scrape down the sides of my bowl. See how I told you this would go quick? I'm about ready to put it in my pan, but I have to do one more ingredient, and that's the flavoring. Now I want to talk about the flavoring because when you see me use it, you're going to wonder that much. If you have a good flavoring like Watkins brand, you probably can use the 1 to 2 teaspoons or 3 teaspoons. This flavoring is imitation vanilla flavoring, and it came from the dollar store, so I use quite a bit of it. And I don't measure it, I just pour it in. But for this purpose, I'm going to use the measuring cup and show you about how much I use, and watch as I pour. This is this is 1 cup. So I'm going to say I'm using like about a 1/4 of a cup of this flavor. Because like I said, it came from the dollar store and it's not as strong as the Watkins brand. If you have a good vanilla flavor, like there's Watkins, there's McCormick, I'm going to cut this back up. I want that flavor to get all in that cake there. I'm going to spread the sides out again. And now I'm going to unlock my mixer because I'm done. And what I do, I put it on the lowest speed and I bring it up slowly so that the batter will come off of the whip there. And then I shut it all the way down. At this point, I get my small spatula and I just kind of clean up this beater and get my cake off of there because you're going to have like the equivalent of a slice of cake left on your beater. So you want all your batter, or the most, you want to clean it off as well as possible. Uh-oh. Let me grab this. Okay, I got most of it off. That tip came off. We don't want to eat that. So now I'll just go back and finish up with this. Good thing that it had color to it and not clear or white. Okay, I think that is clean enough. I'm not leaving too much of my cake on my beater. So now I'm gonna bring the, thank you. I am going to now fill my pan with the cake batter. So let me get my pan. This is a bundt pan that I'm using. And when you use this type of pan, it has a real pretty design on your cake once it's done. And this pan I got from Walmart, and it's about $22, maybe $23, but it's well worth it. I kind of fussed at first because I thought I was getting a deal. I guess they had put this pan in the wrong area, and it was by a tag that said $4.97. So I grabbed it. I'm like, oh yes. And I didn't realize till I got home because I had spent quite a bit of money that, I actually paid like $20-something for it. So now I'm going to shake this pan baking spray. Not cooking spray, but baking spray with flour. I'm going to get this all in my pan. And you want to do an even coating of the baking spray, not real heavy, because it will, if you do it too heavy, it'll fall into your cake and it might lose layers of oil inside of your cake. Okay, so this is what it looks like once I've sprayed the inside of my bundt pan. Now I'm going to unlock my bowl from my mixer and pull this away. And I'm going to show you this batter. This is how it should be, not runny. It should be pretty thick, okay? I'm going to use my spatula now to get this batter into my pan. And this cake takes about 50 to 55 minutes to bake. And you see it doesn't really take that long to put the cake together. The longest process of this cake is to cream the butter and the sugar. And you can check for doneness with a toothpick. If you stick the toothpick in the cake, and it comes out clean, then that means that your cake is fully cooked. Also, I look at the edges because you don't want your edges on your cake to be too dark. I like maybe the color of peanut butter on my edges. And I want to get all the batter out of this bowl. I don't want to waste anything because we're having a party at work tomorrow, so I know I'm going to need every slice that I can get out of this cake. I make these cakes frequently for family and friends, and I have made this particular pound cake for co-workers, and they really go for it. And this pound cake recipe is courtesy of my dad, Mr. Eugene. Okay, and I just kind of shake it like this a little bit to kind of get it even. And there it is in the pan. I've already preheated my oven. And so I'm going to place the cake on the top rack, which is about middle way of the oven. And I'm going to close the door. I'm not going to open that door until the cake is just about ready. You want to be careful about people walking too hard in the room or slamming doors because you don't want your cake to fall. So the time is 7:01. My cake should be done just before 8 o'clock. Well, actually it's about 6:57. Well, we're around 7 o'clock. My camera says one thing and my clock says something different. So I'm not going to have you wait for an hour. I'll come back and show you what the cake looks like. Okay, guys, I'm going to show you what this cake looks like. I'm going to pull out this rack. And it's been an hour. Look at this cake, all the way to the top there. So I'm going to set it on the stove. While that was cooking, I went ahead and fried some pork chops, but that will be on a different video. And I'm going to turn my camera now to face my countertop because I want you to see as I take the cake out of the pan. And you have to take the cake out of the pan while it's hot. So let me get a plate. I think that Bandit wants to come in, Mr. G.
Come on, Bandit.
Okay, so I'm going to bring my cake over here to the table. I'm just going to do this so you can see a little bit better. So what I want to do is get a butter knife. And I want to go around the edge of the pan and just kind of loosen the cake up a little bit. If you gave it enough of the spray from the pan baking spray or whatever brand you used, then it should be no problem. It should come right away from the sides. Then at the top here, this hole down the center, I just kind of push the cake back to free it up from the center, that tunnel there. And then I take my knife and I kind of go around that as well to loosen it up. I don't go all the way down, just enough to kind of loosen it because I have sprayed this. Okay, now that I have that done, I am going to take it out. But I need to put something down on my table because this pan is hot. Okay, Now I'm going to get my plate and I'm going to cover the top of the cake up with the plate, and I'm going to pick up the whole thing, turn it over like that, set it down, and then lift. I'll put that at the sink, and I just have to show you guys. Look at this cake. 7 ingredients. Wonderful pound cake. And so I'm going to take it now to the counter and put it on my cake plate and bring it back to show you. And that's Aged Graceful Southern Pound Cake. And I learned this recipe from my dad, so I have to honor him. Home is where your dad is. Thank you for teaching me how to make this cake, Daddy. Thank you guys for watching. Come back soon to Aged Graceful's Kitchen as we do another episode in the future of Soulful Eats. Have a good day. Bye.